Do you have continuity or association plan for your business?
Has anyone shared the concept of sustainability with you?
What about the need to protect the rights of minority shareholders?
What are those ingredients germane to having effective meetings?
For these and many more, tune into Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43 at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
Hello, and thanks for joining us on another exciting episode of Corporate Governance Platform. Corporate Governance Platform is proudly brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals. My name is Tunde Odeyemi, and in today's episode, we want to look at the framework for ensuring corporate sustainability. And my guest in the studio who is going to lead in the conversation is a distinguished fellow of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, Mrs. FOLASADE AKINMUSIRE. Mrs. FOLASADE AKINMUSIRE, FCIS, is a seasoned legal practitioner and Chartered Secretary with a Master's in Law from the University of South Wales and an MBA in Business Skills Competency from London School of Business and Finance. She is also a notary public of the Supreme Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In the course of her career, she has obtained vast knowledge and experience in company secretarial services, corporate governance, corporate legal advisory, documentation and advocacy skills in the real estate, oil and gas, insurance, and other sectors of the economy. She is the managing partner of Adrods and Depth, a soliciting and governance firm, and the treasurer of ICSAN Lagos chapter. She is also a member of the corporate members and training committee of the institute. Mrs. FOLASADE AKINMUSIRE, it's nice to have you on Corporate Governance Platform.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored to be here.
Thank you very much for finding time to join us on the show. We'll be discussing in the next couple of minutes framework for ensuring corporate sustainability. But before we start the program, I would like to invite our viewers to be part of today's program by asking questions or making comments. You can send your question or comments by SMS to us on 080-2323-1287. I take the number again, 080-2323-1287. You have the number on the screen of your television set. Please, no phone calls, only SMS, text message. And when you do that, please put your name on the SMS. Thank you very much. Corporate sustainability. I would like to start this conversation by asking, what really does the term sustainability connote?
Okay, let me start from the United Nations Brundtland Commission report of 1987. That commission report defined sustainability as the ability to meet the present need without compromising the ability of the future to meet its own needs. So it's a futuristic concept in the sense that it seeks long-term economic development as against short-term profitability for organizations by ensuring that there's a balance of economic, social, and environmental contributions.
Okay, what then is the relevance of sustainability in the context of corporate governance?
Okay, so we're going to connect both because they're very relevant. They're like sisters.
Sustainability and corporate governance.
Very much. They're like sisters. There's a very strong link. Why? First and foremost, Principle 26 of the Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance readily provides for sustainability as one of the principles to ensuring corporate governance in an organization. And we all know what corporate governance is all about. It's about the systems, the rules, and the processes, procedures that an organization employs to control and direct itself to ensure that it attains economic growth, social growth, and environmental growth. ensuring generally that the livelihood of every organization and all the stakeholders are properly taken into consideration. So for you to be able to do that, you marry both. There's no way you can actually say you practice the principles of corporate governance without sustainability.
Okay, I want to talk about economic development because you actually mentioned it. In what ways do conscious efforts of organization, companies on sustainability contribute to economic development?
Okay, like I said, Principle 26 says that organizations that pay particular attention, adequate attention to their sustainability issues are able to thrive in the long term. And not only will they thrive in the long term, they will be termed as responsible corporate citizens that are contributing to economic growth. So I may want to give more flesh to that in terms of experience. You can look at an organization that pays attention to the impact of its activities on the society where it operates. Let's look at a company in the derivative industry, for instance, where you are developing or looking for crude oil or what have you. You are in a community and then the host community is suffering. You are not mindful of the effect of your drilling or operations on the host community. Their waters are polluted, their air is polluted, there are no schools in the vicinity. The children of the land are not benefiting from the resources of that community, no matter the profitability of that particular organization. It cannot be said that that organization is sustainable, because in the long run, we've all heard about some of the social insecurities and things that occur when the people in society are not satisfied with what is going on, when they feel cheated. Then of course they start to attack you. Insecurities will come into play and all sorts of factors come into play. So in that vein, when you pay particular attention to sustainability issues, number one, you have a good corporate reputation. People in the industry, people around you, the environment where you work in, they have respect for you. They even protect your interests when you have competitions or other things happen that threaten the existence of your organization. They're able to come in and say, oh no, this organization has a good reputation. Investors are also willing to work with you. Financial organizations are willing to advance you facilities when you need one. So there's a whole lot that comes to paying attention to sustainability issues, just to mention a few things.
Okay, paying attention to sustainability issues or principles guarantees the continuous existence of the organization.
Very well.
Okay. I want to refer you to a particular provision of the Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance 2018. The code provides that paying adequate attention to sustainability issues, including environment, social, occupation, and community health and safety, will project the company as a responsible corporate citizen contributing to economic development, just like we said now. I want you to substantiate and talk about the import of this particular provision, and with a view to telling us the veracity, how true this statement is.
Okay, so it's a very true statement. Empirical evidence actually went into a lot of research before the principles of corporate governance came to be. I would like to tell a little story about how it came to be, corporate governance principles, how it came to be. Okay. It all started with some of the corporate failures, in the 1990s, early 1990s, where investors lost a lot of their funds. They lost a lot of their funds. Shareholders went home crying. Why? Because the board and the management of the organizations back then did not pay attention to sustainability issues. They were not focusing on the futuristic economic viability of that business. They were concerned about what the profit that the company was making at that point in time. And because of that, they were making huge payouts to each other. They were paying non-executive directors a whole lot without considering the interests of other stakeholders in that organization. And mind you, stakeholders are not just your investors or your shareholders, your suppliers. They have to be paid. When they supply you, you have to take considerate, adequate attention, pay attention to their interests, pay attention to the interests of your employees. pay attention to the interests of the society wherein you operate. Like I said earlier, when you work in an environment or you do business in an environment, there are impacts to your activities. Some may be negative. So you want to look at it and pay attention. What am I doing that is affecting this environment in a negative way? How do I want to build up new policies to stop this? Or because of the profit that I'm making and nursing from this society or from the resources that is within my reach, how am I helping the society? How am I a corporate citizen, a responsible corporate citizen? How am I helping the society? Because at the end of the day, when you are profitable as an organization and the environment in which you operate is impoverished, I don't see how you can say you have a futuristic goal or a futuristic objective, or you have plans to be sustainable in the long run. Because at the end of the day, the children in that society, if you cannot, at least, even if you cannot send them all to school, you can assist the government by providing conducive environments for learning for the children in the in that community. So when you do things like that, the children are informed. They don't grow up and become vagabonds. They don't become threats to your business. They don't become rogues and thieves, and they don't. A whole lot of societal issues are dealt with, at least, maybe not totally, but to a good degree, to such an extent that they do not become a risk to your business and ability to continue.
Okay, you actually talked about controlling the environment so that the people will not be a risk to your business.
Yes.
But what can the organization do deliberately now?
Yeah.
What can they deliberately do to minimize the environmental impacts of their operations?
Okay, so first thing is you want to look at an evaluation process as provided under Section 26 of the Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance. It provides that you have to take concerted effort to look at certain issues. You mentioned a whole lot of issues in that particular principle, number one. So, and then when you look at it, then you formulate policies. The board has that responsibility to formulate policies to say, this is the effect of my business on the environment. This is the effect of my business on my society. This is the effect of my business on the economy. If it is negative, then you want to change your modus operandi. How are you operating? What are your business strategies? You want to sit down as a board and look at it and then make sure that your management fully implements this, so that the required change, the required intervention that you're hoping to see, on gain from sustainability, to ensure that your business remains viable in the long term, not short term, in the long term. You want to do that. I
like the way you mentioned that the business remains viable in the long term.
Yes.
You have said that the board should formulate policies,
yes,
and so on and so forth.
yes.
Don't you think this is too tasking against the principle, against the objective of making profit? You actually said in the long term, yes, but profit is the oxygen of business. It's the one that keeps the business going. Don't you think doing all this will be too tasking for the business?
No. If you look at principle one of the Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance goes to such extent to explain to us what the role of the board is. And one of the rules, and it goes, before we even go to the rule, it says that a successful company, a successful organization is led by an effective board that takes time to formulate strategies and ethical standards and practices by which the organization is going to be run.
If you do all that without profit, what happens?
It's not possible for you to do all that without profit.
Okay.
And if you're not making profit, then you need to go back to your drawing board.
Okay.
Definitely there's something that you're not doing right. So you have to formulate this. It's one of their full responsibilities. They have that responsibility. It's not too much. Because even if you make profit in the short term, except your organization was built to just last for maybe a year or two, do you understand? But if you have an objective, what is the mission of your organization? Whatever the mission of your organization is, I'm definitely sure that nobody will invest money only for you to want returns in the short term. Even if the board wants results in the short term, investors don't want results in the short term. They don't want results in the short term. So if you are not paying attention to sustainability issues and you are not doing all of these things, definitely it will be difficult for you to find new investors, and then it will be difficult for your business to grow. And then you cannot so to say, according to Principle 26, be a corporate responsible citizen contributing to economic.
Okay. There is another provision of the code that I want to refer you to. And this says about that the code requires the organizations not only to establish sustainability policies, but also to monitor the implementation of such policies and report on the extent of compliance with the policies. Now, what do you think is meant to be achieved by monitoring procedures?
So like I said earlier, the board has an oversight responsibility to the organization. Oversight in the sense that it monitors the activities of management, because the board is not involved in the everyday running. They are not involved in the everyday running, but the management staff are involved. So they need to be monitored. Why? It's of no essence, it's of no end if you formulate policies and you do not go back to find out how effective those policies are. Are you achieving the very aim for that policy? Okay. What are you trying to achieve? So it is important. It helps, continuous reporting helps the board, awakens them to their obligations to the organization. They have a fiduciary responsibility towards the organization to make sure that it is properly run and it is successful and it is making profits. But that profit has to be in the long run. Otherwise, what is the point? If you harness a whole lot of resources, a lot of profitability, and you are not able to be successful in the long term, you are not contributing to the economic development of any nation or any community where you are situated.
Okay, if you are just joining us, it's Corporate Governance Platform, proudly brought to you by ICSAN, the Hub of Governance Professionals, and we are discussing framework for ensuring corporate sustainability. And I have with me in the studio Mrs. FOLASADE AKINMUSIRE, leading in the conversation. You can also be part of the conversation by asking questions or sending or making comments on the program. You can send your question or comments to 080-2323-1287. I take the number again, 080-2323-1287. Thank you. Yeah, at the beginning you linked corporate governance with sustainability.
Yes.
Now, what is the connection between sustainability and corporate social responsibility, CSR?
Okay, they're very related. You know that corporate...
Tune into Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43 at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the Hub of Governance Professionals. Do you have continuity or association plan for your business?
Has anyone shared the concept of sustainability with you?
What about the need to protect the rights of minority shareholders?
What are those ingredients germane to having effective meetings?
For these and many more, tune into Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43 at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the Hub of Governance Professionals. Do you have continuity or association plan for your business?
Has anyone shared the concept of sustainability with you?
What about the need to protect the rights of minority shareholders?
What are those ingredients germane to having effective meetings?
For these and many more, tune into Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43 at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
What's the connection between sustainability and corporate social responsibility, CSR?
Okay, so if we go back to the definition of sustainability by the United Nations, you mentioned meeting your needs without compromising the ability of the future to meet their own needs by considering a balance of economic, social, and environmental considerations. So that social aspect, when you balance the social inequality in the society, that is what you mean by CSR. CSR is where you take concerted efforts as an organization to meet the needs of people in your environment, or just meet a social need in your environment. And in so doing, of course, you are building up your corporate brand reputation, which of course will translate to some form of economic advancement and development for your organization. So in doing that, you are becoming more sustainable as an organization, because when you undergo CSR projects, you have helped the society. The society is developing. Of course, investors are drawn to you. You're able to harness loans where possible. Even employees, you're able to get the best hands. Depending on your industry, you're able to get the best hands required, because people want to work with you, people want to partner with you. So when you have people interested in your organization, whatever industry you're operating in, definitely I'm sure that you'll be sustainable in the long run.
Okay, with corporate social responsibility, you have sustainability.
Definitely, they're intertwined, yeah.
Okay, in what ways do conscious efforts by company to give opportunities to physically challenged persons contribute to sustainability?
Okay, that aspect was actually provided for under Section 26 of the Nigerian, Principle 26, of the Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance. It says that you have to make provision for the disabled and the less privileged in the society, because they are, at the end of the day, part of our society. They are stakeholders. They have a stake. They are entitled to the resources that we have in Nigeria. So when you employ them, you empower them. And when you empower them, definitely you are aiding an economic growth in the nation. You have less destitutes on our streets. You are contributing definitely to the development of the nation.
Okay, I want to talk about some external stakeholders.
Yeah.
Why do you think, you have mentioned sustainability principles, you have also linked it with corporate social responsibility. Why do you think these two concepts give credence to external stakeholders when they are not directly investors in the company?
They are all very important. I don't know how an organization can be said to be thriving and profitable. Okay, so I'll give a brief analogy. You're a thriving organization, and all around you there's economic development, and you're growing. So if you're growing, it's only a matter of time before they catch up with you, because at the end of the day, who are your customers? Who are your suppliers? And then who are the people in your environment? They pose a great security risk to us. I want to reiterate, it's not just providing amenities. Amenities are not the only ways that you can provide or try to level social inequality. Sound education, capacity building, in so many ways. If you do not take adequate, measures to ensure that you contribute, organizations generally contribute their little quota, no matter how little, to build up the coming generation, then we'll have a problem in our hands. If we look at a whole lot of the insecurities in Nigeria at present, we have a lot of young boys, joining terrorist organizations. If they have been properly engaged, if the society, if organizations and governments are more alive to their responsibility and their obligations towards a sustainable economy, we'll have less of those children, because they'll be educated, they know better. At the end of the day, they don't know better, so they are easily brainwashed, they are hungry, so they will do whatever it is that they need to do to survive, whether it's legal or illegal. So paying particular attention to sustainability issues, to stakeholders who are not direct stakeholders, indirectly, but are beneficiaries or recipients of your activities generally is very important. Because not only in that aspect of social aspect, even in the environmental space, when you have people, they are not part of your organization, they are not directly supplying you, they are not investors, but they live in the environment where you operate, and you are emitting substances that are dangerous to their health. Definitely you can be sued. Your risk appetite will increase depending on the industry where you're operating in. Your risk appetite will increase, and you have more issues to deal with in order for you to be able to remain sustainable in the long run. So it's better for you to pay that attention, and one by one, little by little, diminish and reduce the impact of your activities on the environment.
We have a text message from someone, and this person is a namesake. His name is Tunde. His question is, to what extent are Nigerian companies building sustainability principles in their operations?
Well, for me, I think to the extent of compliance. I know that a lot of regulatory authorities require organizations to comply and file sustainability reports from time to time on a yearly basis. Either you include same in your annual returns filings or as a separate document. Whichever way, that is to the extent in terms of institutions that we have in Nigeria, that is the extent that we have for now. But I think that there's still room for improvement, in the sense that people need to come to a greater awareness of the benefits of actually having sustainability policies, enshrined in your ethical standards and practice, procedures for every organization. You stand to gain a whole lot. So far, I don't think we've gone so far. We haven't gone so far, but there's room for improvement if we keep the discourse going. Yes.
Okay, to the extent of compliance,
yes,
that is to meet regulatory compliance.
Now,
okay,
yes.
And this is probably going to be my last question. What is the advice of ICSAN? ICSAN is your institute, on how professionals can guide relevant stakeholders on how to build or incorporate sustainability principles into their operations?
Okay, ICSAN has been doing a lot, and even today we had a program, the Common Secretaries and Registrars Forum. We had a program about the green economy, and we talked about sustainability issues this morning. Practitioners were advised on how best to advise their boards, and stakeholders. We all know that chartered secretaries, corporate governance, they are in touch with stakeholders. That is one of their primary constituencies. That's one of their primary responsibilities. You talk to shareholders, you talk to investors, you talk to the board, you talk to everybody. So you are at a place where you can communicate and let people understand more the benefits of sustainability. So ICSAN did that, and the discussion went on. So, but I feel that we all also have a part to play. We all can make inquiries about how we can ensure that our businesses are sustainable. We can reach out to ICSAN for added trainings, or if you have questions, and I believe that they are well positioned to attend to that need. So that is the call from ICSAN today. Let's all stay aware and ensure that we build a sustainable Nigeria. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. That is the much we can stake on today's episode. Let us all stay aware and ensure that we build sustainability. Mrs. FOLASADE AKINMUSIRE, FCIS, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
And for our viewers, we want to thank you for being part of the show. Today, thank you for the text message. We invite you to join us again next week, same station, same time. I remain Tunde Odeyemi, your host. Keep spreading the gospel of sustainability this time around.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
Do you have continuity or association plan for your business?
Has anyone shared the concept of sustainability with you?
What about the need to protect the rights of minority shareholders?
What are those ingredients germane to having effective meetings?
For these and many more, tune into Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43 at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.